Cross now to David Green, trying to hit it up strongly. Gavin Allen in first to put into ground. Kevin Walters over the top. It's back to Simmons across the Fittler. Fittler straightens up the attack through the gap. Big and strong. He's busted him over. He steps up. This is going to be a try. This is going to be a try. Oh, what a great try.
Okay, footy fans, let's head over to God's country for the Battle of the Birds. The Manly Sea Eagles are still going for a spot in the final five, but the Western Suburbs Magpies are going to be doing their best to stop them in this bone cruncher at Brookvale. League 90 is brought to you by LJ Hooker, Auto Village Holden, Liquor Stop and Tooheys on Sydney's #1 footy station. Here's Ray Warren, Peter Sterling and Warren Ryan.
Yes, thank you, and welcome back now for the match broadcast between West and Manly. A big day for Manly, a chance to get into the semi-finals of the hard-fought 1990 Winfield Cup. This is it for them, Manly. They can snuff the others out right here today. Let's go to Julie Anthony for the national anthem before kick-off time. Well, there was no Julie Anthony. What, in fact, our producer decided to do was take the ground live, and that was the instrumental Julie Anthony version. That was the Dragon playing the anthem and not Julie. However, things are almost set now for the start of this big match, particularly for Manly. Western Suburbs, though, I've got to say, have been game. They've been competitive. It's been a great year for them under coach John Bailey. And I think they've turned the corner and aren't far away from being a real force with which to be reckoned in this Winfield Cup competition. A mistake from the kick-off by Ronson sees Western Suburbs immediately on the attack. Casado plays the ball and taking it ahead for Western Suburbs is Big Pat O'Doherty. They're only 10 metres out from the Manly line. We're in the opening seconds of the game, and Cameron Blair is tackled, still 10 metres out. The Manly defence holding tight at the moment, so it should. They've got a full head of steam at the moment. Taking it ahead now is Steve Jackson. They're still on the 10-metre line, so they haven't got past the advantage line so far. Cogger throws a floated pass. It's gone out through Ainscoe. Coming back in field is Simmons, and again he's tackled on the 10-metre line. 5 tackles gone, no gain in ground on 5. Henjack puts in the grubber kick, finds the line about 4 metres away from the Manly line, and the first scrum of the game is about to pack. The first scrum in the match about to pack down. Jones wearing the headgear in the second row, Shelford, Balding in the front row for Manly. Hoskins a fair-headed prop, and it's won by Manly as you might expect. And the winger from the blind side, Smith, comes in, takes the pass from Tuvey, and he's grounded and put down by the lock forward for Western Suburbs, Doug Rawlings, the reserve grade captain normally. Penalty goes now to Manly, and that was against the Western Suburbs backs for being inside the 5, behind the feet of the lock forward. And a differential penalty has been awarded to Manly, and Stokes, the coloured fullback for Manly, puts in the kick. They've got the strong wind at their back in the first half as we go to the sidelines, and Tony Megahey.
Well, Manly, the pressure's off. I'm looking at Graham McKay. Gee, wearing pants like that, you'd want to be able to play. Knee-length bike pants.
And what a big hit that was by Jacko as Manly's Hoskins took it ahead after the tap penalty had been taken. I thought I saw a little dummy half knock on there from O'Donnell, but the referee didn't pick it up, and John Jones will play the ball centre ground. 32 out from the Magpies line. It's gone through Lyons through to O'Connor. Out wide was Tuvey. Tuvey grasped by Jackson. Beautiful tackle by the big man. Stokes goes to dummy half. Taking it ahead as the nuggety lock forward, Cunningham. Cunningham will play it about 25, 27 metres out from the Western Suburbs line. Manly with the strong breeze in the first half. Back it goes for Lyons. Blair came through to put some pressure on. The ball went to Shelford. Manly lost their play at the moment, and now it's kicked in general play, and it finds touch. And a scrum will go down 10 metres away from the Western Suburbs line, but just a little bit of hesitation in the Manly attack as Big Shelford found himself flat-footed. He didn't exactly know what to do when the ball was given to him by Cliffy Lyons, and this scrum goes down with Western Suburbs to feed, and of course the loose head with them. Henjack gets it away. It's come to Doherty. Doherty, the fullback, tackled about 15 metres out from his own line. Reserve grade went to Manly 30-6. 21s went to Western Suburbs by, beg your pardon, 21s went to West 30-6. Reserve grade went to Manly 28-10. Players down on the 22-metre line. Western Suburbs enter the ground. Oh, Cameron Blair making an awful mistake. Manly had a chance, but the referee will take the first breach and he'll put a scrum down and he'll give Manly the head and the feed just outside the Western Suburbs 22. Bad mistake by Cameron Blair. Warren Ryan.
Yeah, good opportunity here for Manly. They've got a feed just on the 22 and they look as if they could do something with this one.
Ball in, out beautifully, and it came off the feet of Tuvey. The referee saw it, ruled it such. It goes now to O'Connor. Grasped and pulled down. Good low tackle by Tony Casato, the former Parramatta player. Now it's Shelford getting over the advantage line. Good yards. Takes it towards 22. Gives it to Ronson, playing in the thermal thigh shorts. And it's Ronson who's tackled around the bootlaces. Pressure time for Western Suburbs. As it comes across now, Hoskins fades from the right to the left. And he's pulled down and tackled there by O'Doherty for Western Suburbs in the main with some help from his friends. It's gone to Shelford. Manly looking dangerous. They're 8 metres out. They're over on the grandstand side. They're running towards the scoreboard. And a very good opportunity on the last couple of tackles on this set of 6. Tuvey fades. O'Connor goes through a gap. O'Connor looks for support. Floats it out to Stokes. Stokes on to Smith, and Smith is in to score. A superb Manly try. Was it Smith that scored the try? I thought it was.
Good bit of work by the little halfback there. Went across field and turned it inside to O'Connor, and O'Connor made the break.
Beautiful piece of play by Tuvey. It went out to Lyons. He just jinked the play. He dummied to Cunningham. Tuvey went straight across the ground. He picked up a flat runner in the shape of O'Connor, who diagonaled then to Stokes. Stokes didn't mess about, got a tall player on his outside, and that's Smith, the winger, going in for the first points for Manly. Peter Sterling.
That's the worst possible start for Western Suburbs. We said that they had to start well and really make sure their defence was solid early, but that's something Manly do particularly well, is run the angles well. They normally do it off Cliff lines, but in the last couple of movements, Jeff Tuvey has been playing outside lines, and they've done exactly the same thing as they've done all season, and it's resulted in the first 4-pointer.
Yeah, well, he's been doing that pretty well all season. Cliff Lyons has been first receiver for them this year, and they've played Tuvey. Really, they could switch jumpers, Peter. They could put the 7 on Lyons and 6 on Tuvey. And that's a great conversion from the sideline.
What a kick, yeah, Warren Ryan. What a kick from the sideline by Michael O'Connor from 22 metres out on the touchline. He's banged it over for Manly to lead by 6-0. Sideline eye, Tony Megahey.
Well, Manly set that up. They punched it very wide to the left, Shelford nearly to the corner post, but giving them all of that space on the right-hand side to bring Stokes in. He made the overlap.
Great start in the match for Manly, and Ronson takes it back beyond his own 22. He ran a long way before he found anybody that even resembled a defender. Here's Hosking going ahead, and he's met by a swarm of Magpies. He's put to ground. Blair was in there, so was Rawlings, but a penalty has gone to Manly against the Western Suburbs defenders, not getting off the man tackled, and a penalty goes to the Eagles, their second of the game. And here he is now, Frank Stokes, the fullback, taking the line kick and finding it 8 metres into Western Suburbs area. Just on 5 minutes of the game gone as the tap is taken. That's come from O'Donnell across to Tuvey. Then they use the winger coming around the first receiver. And it's Hancock who plays the ball eventually. Back to O'Donnell. Going for a run is Jones in the headgear. He puts a little bit of a swerve into his work and he straightens it up. He's met and tackled then by Jackson. They come left Manly. They're on the attack just outside the quarterway line. Lyons back to O'Donnell. He does a 360. He's put down now. Still only about 24 metres out from the line. Lyons, the dummy half, throws the dummy, looks for the hole behind the play. The ball gets it to Cunningham, and Cunningham is tackled. No gain in ground. Western Suburbs defence holding tight for the moment. They're down 6-0 in the early minutes of the game. O'Donnell is put to ground, and he'll play it now about 20 metres out on tackle number 6, and it's come away from Lyons. A long ball, misdirected, knocked on by Stokes, and a chance for Western Suburbs as it's booted through by Jamie Ainscough. It's still play on, and now with the ball is Cameron Blair for Western Suburbs. He had it stolen from him by Lyons, and it's a penalty going to Western Suburbs now. about 3 metres into Manly's territory. 6 points to 0 in favour of the Eagles. A try to Smith after only 3 minutes of time, and converted, a magnificent conversion from O'Connor on the sideline. Peter Sterling.
Interesting to see that the last couple of times on the 6 tackle, Manly have looked to run the football. Cliff Lyons decided that was the better option. It has broken down both times, but it'll be interesting to see if they maintain that kind of play.
The tap has been taken. Magpie is tackled now, and he'll play the ball, and it's come from the hooker and gone across now. Fading across the back of the play was the Western Suburbs number 10, and that was Bukowski. But they are in possession, and they're playing the ball in centre ground, right in front of the uprights, 20 metres out. Make it 18 metres out. As it comes away from Jackson, it's gone back, and getting the ball away was Flanagan. Flanagan's pass has gone over there to the left winger, Wayne Simmons. He plays at 15 out. Western Suburbs attacking. They've got a chance to come back to level as it comes from Cogger. Casado drops it on the boot. A chance for the Magpies, but Hancock fell back and cleaned up the scraps and was tackled immediately there by Ainscough. Stokes is the dummy half for Manly. He runs it out and takes play about 15 metres out from his own line as we go sideline eye. Tony Megahey.
Little bit erratic Cliff Lyons, a poor pass and then conceded a penalty.
Ball played on the 22 line by Manly's Hoskins, and here's Shelford making very valuable metres. He gets the pass away to O'Donnell. O'Donnell gets it back to a big hunk of a man in the shape of White, and White gets up, plays the ball back to O'Donnell, fed back for the kick for Stokes with the big breeze at his back, a breeze that would have to be rated somewhere around 8 or 10 points, one would think. This is Doherty now. Doherty's out to the 22, but he's been absolutely swallowed by Michael O'Connor. Ball and all tackle. Away comes Magpie, this big lump of a winger from Western Suburbs, and he almost reaches the 32-metre line before being put down by Hosking. Number 13 takes it ahead for the Magpies. That's Doug Rawlings, and he'll play the ball now only just outside his 32-metre line. Jackson goes ahead, stands up, looks for support, finds Simmons. Simmons looks for the halfway line, but he's pulled down by Hosking, who's getting through a hell of a lot of work. It's come from Henjack and gone across now. A floating pass has gone astray. The pass went astray, and Manly with a chance as O'Connor goes into touch. Did he take the ball into touch with him? Referee is calling it back for the knock-on. He was playing the advantage, and a scrum will go down 12 metres on the Magpie side of halfway, Warren Ryan.
Yeah, I think O'Connor knocked that on, put a hand to that as the long pass was passed by West. He just touched it with a fingertip and it went forward, and he's called it right back to the 40-metre line.
We certainly do have two football teams who like keeping the ball alive here, but don't we? They really...
Yeah, they're moving it around. West are working wide too.
The lock forward picks it up at the back of the scrum as Western Suburbs win it. Rawlings will play it. Henjack has folded into dummy half, and the first man to take it ahead is Gary Bukowski. Bukowski is thumped to the ground there by Jones. About 5 metres Magpie side of halfway. Manly leading 6-0. The ball comes away from O'Doherty, and Feld then sold a dump, really, was Jones. Jones plays it fairly groggily. It's gone from Henjack across to Cogger now, and it's Cameron Blair out wide, getting through a gap. Back to Trevor Cogger. Cogger's inside the 32. Got one to beat. Draws him. Gets the pass away. It's gone to Flanagan. Flanagan's tackled right on the Manly quarter. They were opened up then by the Magpies. Across to Rawlings. Rawlings onto Casado. He's put it down. Hancock has it for Manly. And so the pressure goes off the Eagles. And Hancock will play the ball back to Cunningham. And he'll play the ball about 18 metres out from his own line, with his team leading Western Suburbs 6-0. A try to Smith after only 3 minutes, converted by O'Connor. As we go sideline eye, Tony Megahey.
Well, typical of West, a lot of promise, but they haven't played 6 tackles yet.
Jones to play the ball now beyond his own 22. Dummy half O'Donnell fed back on an early tackle for the kick. Stokes gets the kick in. It's going over towards the sideline, and Doherty goes across, but doesn't even look like taking it. He was going to let it go from the time it left Stokes' boot, and a scrum will go down just outside the Western Suburbs 22. Manly's loose head, Western Suburbs loose head, Western Suburbs feed. 6-0 then. Reserve grade going to Manly. They won easily, and Magpies won the 21s, and they kept a slim semi-final hope alive by winning 30 points to 6. Referee calls it back. He wants it again. Henjack to work this scrum. Young Taylor played reserve grade today, Jason Taylor, but he was taken off late with a nasty head gash. It's come from Henjack, gone to Cogger. Cogger calls Casado on the flat, and Casado straightens the attack. He plays the ball. Dummy half was Rawlings. It's gone to Henjack, on to Cogger. Cogger fading across the ground, reaches the 22-way line before being tackled by Ronson. Now it's in the possession of Rawlings, but Western Suburbs finding it difficult to find a hole, particularly in the centre. The defence from Manly in close is pretty solid. Now it's in the hands hands of O'Doherty, and big Patrick O'Doherty is brought down 10 metres his side of halfway. 5 tackles gone for the black and whites. Henjack puts the kick in on the last. Going back for it as the winger Hancock. The bounce isn't a bad one for him. He takes it away from his quarter. He's being chased by Casato. He's going across the ground. Now he finds a hole after he beats the tackle of Cogger, and eventually he's wrestled and put down by Jamie Ainscough. Midway 22, halfway, Manly's end of the ground. The try scorer Smith comes away from dummy half and gaining valuable metres all the time. There's been some fairly lazy marker defence from Western Suburbs in the early exchanges. Hosking has had an outstanding game so far. I realise it's early times, but he's really involved. O'Donnell goes from dummy half, again highlighting a defensive deficiency with Western Suburbs. O'Donnell to play it. And they're finding metres up around the fringe of the rucks and even behind the markers when they leave the area. The kick in general players a beauty off the boot of O'Connor, finding it only about 3 metres away from the Magpies line for the scrum to go down.
As we'd expect, Manly playing good field position. A fine kick from Frank Stokes earlier, under pressure. Michael O'Connor just rolled one through there, picked up a very easy 25, 30 metres.
So this scrum taking its time to pack. Sterlo pointed out that they are playing the game at a furious pace. They're both prepared to throw it about, and only naturally they get to the scrum base a little bit more slowly as the minutes tick by in this all-important game for the Manly club. This is Doug Rawlings now, who's tackled on his own 10-metre line. Dummy half Flanagan. Jackson goes ahead, puts the hand up, tries to fend off, but coming in to make the tackle was White, the second rower, together with Cunningham, the lock. And Jackson now gets over the 22-metre line, plays the ball back. Away goes Simons, the left winger, playing on the right of the ground at the moment. It's with Flanagan. Flanagan gets a kick in from dummy half. The ball bouncing down towards the touch line. It might find touch. Yes, it will find touch. A good kick by Flanagan. And a scrum will pack down about 15 metres away from the Manly line. Repeating, Manly 6, Western Suburbs no score. And we're at the 15th minute of the first half. The match coming to you on 2GB. News Talk 873 from Brookvale Oval, where tomorrow on the same program you'll hear the test match with Peters and Hartley, and that'll be followed by Balmain and Parramatta, and I'll be joined for commentary by Ray Price. The two men alongside me today, obviously, they're going to the office tomorrow, and what an afternoon of football it could eventuate to be. It's out with Lyons, it's with Ronson to O'Connor. He juggles it for a stride or two. He's away from Ainscough. Casato pursues, makes the tackle just inside the Manly 22-way line. O'Connor plays the ball now from Smith. It's with Ronson. Ronson first receiver on that particular occasion as the forwards took their time in folding over behind the play the ball. They're there now. Shelford wants it. He's got it. He takes it outside the quarter. Stands, gets the ball back to O'Donnell, then to Lyons. Lyons dummies to Tuvey. Looks around for support, gets a pass away, and running with the ball is Cunningham, and he's put down still inside Manly's 22. Manly 6, Western Suburbs no score. Penalty against them, Western Suburbs, being up inside the 5. And Manly's Frank Stokes will come up and find the line probably around the halfway mark. Warren Ryan.
That's twice now. West have had them down there and waiting for the kick, and they've got offside and given Manly a way out. Manly have just got themselves an extra 30 metres with their line kick.
Mackay receiving some attention for the Magpies as the tap is taken. The scrums are 4-3 to West. The penalties are 3-1 to Manly. And the ball to be played by Hoskins. Oh, that's stupid from Mackay. Mackay, the winger for Western Suburbs. As Hoskins was getting up to play the ball, Mackay simply gave him a pat on the back, put him back on the ground, and referee Weeks had no hesitation in giving another penalty to Manly, and they're not going to take the kick at goal. Stokes again takes the kick for line, finds it 24 metres out from the Western Suburbs line. The tap is taken. It's gone to Tuvey, then to Hoskins, back to Tuvey. This is the crosses from Manly. Cunningham runs into a hole, steps over the tackle of Mackay. The ball was knocked on eventually. They run about 2 or 3 crosses, Manly, on that set play.
Yeah, there's some semblance of shepherding there. The players are running behind a wall of players in front of them, and the referee didn't interpret it that way, but there could be that could be interpreted as a shepherd, that.
If Western Suburbs allow Manly to continually get rid of the balls in tackles, they're going to get beaten. If you're going to beat Manly, you have to shut them down, and they're just getting away too many passes in traffic.
Western Suburbs winning the scrum, and Trevor Cogger playing in his testimonial year and playing out the last 2 matches of his career in first grade, and he's eventually got the ball away, but a penalty's gone anyway against Manly's backs for being offside, and so the fullback Doherty takes the kick for touch. Not a good kick. He wasn't going for too much range, and the tap will be taken 32 metres away from the Western Suburbs line, and Simmons, it is the winger who takes it up on the first play. Dummy half is Flanagan. Henjack calls for it. He's got it. Cuts out a forward and gets the pass away to one out wider in the shape of Bukowski. And Gary Bukowski plays the ball. Flanagan gets out of dummy half, finds O'Doherty. And Pat O'Doherty is tackled about 8 metres on his side of the halfway. Played back to Flanagan, given to Henjack, on to Cogger. Cogger now gets his pass on to Casado. Casado with the upper part of the right arm heavily taped. He's got some kind of a carbuncle or boil or something very tender there that's been giving him a problem for some time. Henjack gets the pass away to Cogger. Cogger to Casado. Casado gets a pass away, and running strongly was Brett Doherty. He's tackled on the 5th tackle, 10 metres into Manly's area. It's come to Cogger. Cogger puts in the kick. The centres and the winger going through. Stokes is folding back for it. He might let it go dead. No, he decides to pick it up, and he's being pursued across the back of the goal mouth. He gets back into the field of play. He's bumped off Henjack, and he's taken play 15 metres back into the field of play. That brings a roar from the Manly crowd, but there didn't seem to be much intensity in the Western Suburbs chase, either on the kick or on the player with the ball.
He made 50 metres across field in his in-goal area and then got clear by 10. It was a good run from Stokes.
Lions now. Away to Tuvey. Tuvey gets it on to O'Connor, puts in a step, and a twinkle-toed step it was too. Then he gets away from the tackle from Jackson. He's pulled down. Oh, O'Connor! O'Connor wincing in pain. He was pulled down by Pat O'Doherty. His legs were underneath, and his body was pulled back over the top of the tackler, O'Doherty. O'Connor's on the ground. Oh, that left leg. The left leg went under the body of O'Doherty, and then they put pressure on the upper part of the body, and anything could have happened.
You're looking at his knee. It could be a knee injury.
O'Connor was making a tremendous run, an incisive run. He'd left player after player in his wake. He's on his feet. He's okay, Mike O'Connor, but I'll tell you what, there wasn't a sound to be heard at Brookvale as the crowd went hushed, worrying that Manly may have just lost one of their real superstars. West win the scrum. The lock gave it to Henjack. Henjack to Cogger. Oh, gee, that was a big tackle by the Manly centre, Michael O'Connor, so there's not much wrong with him. Henjack tried to go ahead, and Lyons got a shot off on him. O'Doherty tries to find a hole in behind the play the ball. He goes nowhere. The Manly defence is superb. It's come to Bukowski. Bukowski's tackled on the 4th tackle. Plays it back to Flanagan. Away to Cogger. Cogger to Casado. He cuts out Ainscough, finds Doherty. Doherty tackled 15 out, and it's a penalty to West. Penalty to West against Manly being inside the 5 as we take it to the sideline eye and to Tony Megahey.
Gee, no caution at all by Manly before O'Connor was injured. 6 passes in the quarter and got themselves in trouble.
So Western Suburbs taking the penalty, and they find the line 10 metres out from the Manly line, opting to go for the line and not the goal. And this is O'Doherty now, who takes it ahead to about 5 metres out from the Manly line. The Magpies will put on one of their rehearsed plays here as Henjack takes it to midway between the uprights and the sideline. Henjack is hurt. He's getting up very slowly. And, of course, they've lost their momentum.
I'll bet there's an injured player move coming here, Ray. That'll be played to Henjack. Watch this.
And Henjack, he's in!
There it is.
Oh, well read. Well read by Warren Ryan.
Henjack.
I was wondering what you were talking about.
No, he played the ball, Henjack, and then went down injured, and the play moved away one from him, and when the next play the ball was played, they ran back and slipped him the ball as he rose from his feet. Actually, that should be penalised because he's inside the attacking 5, isn't he, Sterlo?
We did see Chris O'Sullivan score a try in a grand final
against Manly. Against Manly in 87.
That's right.
That's right.
Well,
Sterlo, that's offside technically, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
He's inside the attacking 5 for no good purpose.
Well, he hasn't got out of the 5, no, but gee, that's an important time to score halfway through the first half. Really, the momentum was with Manly, but as Tony Megahey said, they did get themselves in some trouble inside their own quarter.
I tell you, I picked that one. When I saw Ivan run from dummy half at a wall of forwards, I thought that's not part of the script. It was part of the script.
I'll tell you what, I've worked with plenty of co-commentators in my time, but that was the most brilliant piece of co-commentary I've ever heard. Warren Ryan picked it half an hour before it happened. Sterling chimed in the back play and agreed that's what was on. And
injured player move.
Doherty converts the try, scored by Ivan Henjack, for whom I was quite concerned about his health.
No, we weren't.
Worried about his health. You blokes showed no concern at all. All you said he's going to score, and I thought, what are they talking about, these two lunatics? 6 points all. Lunatics. I'll tell you what, it was a brilliant piece of co-commentary, and you heard it on 2GB. News Talk 87 as the kick-off goes over the dead ball line, touched by a Western Suburbs player, and it's going to be a line dropout.
There's a classic example of bad formation to receive a kick-off. Number 13 was standing on the goal line instead of getting back to the dead ball line. It's like fielding in cricket. You've got to get on that fence and come forward. It's hard to go back, isn't it, Ray?
You certainly can. You can move forward and keep the ball in sight. You know if you're standing on the dead ball line, you know it's going to go over there on the full. So it's exactly the same when you're on the touchline. Stand on the touchline, move into your ball. Don't move backwards, and Doug Rawlings made an elementary error there. But Manly goes straight on the attack from the line dropout. Hoskins comes ahead, and Cameron Blair goes very high, brings him down. 6 points all to score. Shelford's inside the 22. Penalty to Manly. Penalty to Manly. Little bit of a scuffle up there. Shelford and a Western Suburbs player become involved. It's Flanagan. And Manly most assuredly will take the kick at goal. They got the breeze, but that try to Western Suburbs has really brought them back to a very nice position if they can get their game together, because I'm rating this wind at about 8 points and 6 points all. 17 minutes of the first half to go. So Manly's going to need this one. They're going to need this and probably another try before half-time to think that they are inside the wind cushion.
Amazing how many times, Ray, after you do score a try, you become very vulnerable yourself. You do tend to relax that touch. We saw the kick go dead. For the 3 plays before the penalty was given, they were offside then too, and he had a look at them. You saw Weeks keep
that was a terrible mistake, though, that put them in that position. I mean, to let a kick-off go dead and then have to line drop kick to your opponents after you've just scored a try, Peter, that's a terrible mistake. And look at the result. They've been caught offside and they've lost the lead or lost the draw. You know, at this situation, they're 2 behind.
8 points to 6 then. 8-6 with O'Connor raising the flags and Manly leading again, but only by 2, not by 6, as was the case before that incredible try scored by Ivan Henjak. Don't go back looking through the tapes at the studios looking for the commentary on the try. Just listen to Warren Ryan nominating a try coming. As we go back to the play now, it's Ronson to play the ball. Back on his own 22-metre line. O'Donnell, the dummy half. Shelford, he's keen for work. Shelford, Cameron Blair met him head on and pulled him down. And play is still just around that Manly 22 line. Hoskins back to Lyons. Lyons to Tuvey. Tuvey switches the point of the attack to the right. It's with Stokes now. Stokes calls the winger inside. Shaw obliges. He's tackled. The Manly try scorer, Shaw. He plays the ball now. 12 metres from the halfway. Back to Hosking. And Hosking is held in the tackle without gaining too much ground, and very solid defence from Western Suburbs.
Yeah, now really have to consolidate Western. Here's a chance now. A bad pass. Cliff Lyons under pressure. But really, they have to try and string together a couple of sets of 6 and just make sure that they get back into this game. And they look to be doing that okay now with possession inside their own half.
Doherty plays it back, and Simmons is tackled just outside the 32-metre line. He plays the ball now. Coming away with it is Casato. Casato runs into White, the second rower, together with Jones, his second-row partner. Now it's Pat O'Doherty going ahead. He beat the tackle of Cunningham. Shelford pulls him down. And he'll play the ball just short of the halfway mark. Played back to Flanagan. Given away now. Through Rawlings. On to Henjak. Cut-out pass. Out wide. Ainscough. Ainscough tackled and put down by Cliffy Lyons and also by David O'Donnell. Back it comes now for Henjak. He puts the kick in. It's not a good kick, though. In fact, Manly probably had the numbers for a couple of seconds because the kick was badly placed to O'Connor. And he'll play the ball 8 metres on his own side of the halfway. Hancock, a dummy half, goes for a scurry, but he doesn't go ahead. He goes across the ground, and he's forced down. Still about 5 metres, his side of the halfway. Back for Jones now. He beats the tackle of Jackson. Pulled down by Flanagan. Warren Ryan.
Yeah, they've got a bit of a problem, West, with their kicking game. Flanagan, we saw, did one good line kick, but neither he nor Ivan Henjak have got big kicking games, and I know they're against the wind this half, but I think they're going to suffer for want of yardage with their kicks.
Well, Shelford and Hoskins are both having big games as Lyons gets the pass from Hoskins and gets it out to Stokes. He got away from Casato's tackle, then he got away from Bukowski's tackle, and Casato's given a second chance and he pulls him down on the 5th tackle, but Stokes was able to make 15 metres. It's gone to Lyons. He puts a little chip over the top, and coming across is Simmons, the winger. Henjak fell back. He's looking for his fullback. Now he runs around Cunningham. He's coming out towards the 22, and Tuvey pulls him down. Played by Henjak, and running away with the ball is the fullback, in fact the winger, played there by Simmons, the winger, and this is Bukowski rucking it out for Western Suburbs. Just beyond their 22, Flanagan dummies and gives it to the left for Cameron Blair. He's out of a couple of would-be tackles. Lyons is injured after failing to make the tackle. He's clutching his face. He's up on his feet now as it's played by Cameron Blair on the last tackle. It's come from Rawlings and it's gone back. And Ainscough put a kick in on the last. Manly have come up with the football and they'll play it at 8 points to 6 in their favour. Let's go sideline eye, Tony Megahey.
Well, plenty of work to do, Manly. 8-6 is no security with this bruise and 10 minutes before the break.
So the referee ruling knock-ons both ways as the ball was coming out along the Manly back line. They knocked on. West had a golden opportunity and they knocked on, but they will have the loose head and they'll have the feed to this scrum midway between 22 and halfway on the Manly end of the paddock.
That was a rather aimless kick, I thought, from West there. Just a little attempted chip, and he was never going to get it himself. It was really just a turnover possession to Manly. They've got to come up with a better kicking game close to the line, West.
Scrum won by Western Suburbs, and Cogger tried to put a run around on with Casado. He gets a quick play the ball on, and it's gone to Rawlings, and they're good yards. He's taken play inside the 32-metre line. Played back to Flanagan, gone to Henjack. Henjack to Bukowski, run around for Henjack. Cut out ball by Henjack to Doherty. And Doherty will play the ball, no gain in ground. Plenty of fancy football, but no gain in ground. That's the bottom line. Flanagan to play the ball now. Dummy half is Jackson, Steve Jackson. Now going ahead with it is Bukowski. Shelford combines in the tackle together with Chris White. They put him on the ground. This is the last tackle. Henjack puts in the grubber kick into a bit of vacant space. Hancock goes back for it. Now let's see if there's any urgency here in the Western Suburbs chase. Hancock goes right across the ground and he gets back into the field of play. He ran 50 metres to get there.
That was a great kick, Ray, but it was woeful chase, wasn't it? They left Henjack to chase his own kick. That was a woeful chase by the chasers.
Well, they certainly could have gone down the ground as a team, could they not, and cut off any progress that the player may have made across the ground.
It was a great kick. It lobbed in the in-goal area, and all he needed was some help, and they'd have had a line drop kick back. They're just falling down on fundamentals.
Well, I don't know whether it is fundamentals, you're quite right, but it just seems to be a lack of intensity.
The ominous thing is that the chase on a kick is generally the greatest sign of the enthusiasm in a side.
Yeah, and that was lacking there, wasn't it, Pete?
Certainly was, but a great chance for them now. Mistake by the Manly side inside their own 10 metres, and a scrum with the feed for West, only 8 metres out.
Yes, a knock on by O'Donnell, sideline eye, Tony Megahey.
Well, I've got to put the question to Cliff Lyons. A couple of missed tackles. He hits the deck. There's another injury every time there's a mistake. He's got to get himself into gear.
Ball being worked into the scrum by Ivan Henjack. Comments from the number 1 sideline eye in Sydney, Tony Megahey. Out the same tunnel, Henjack to work it again. 8 points to 6 in favour of the Eagles over the Magpies. The clash of the birds. Cogger, he's tackled about 7 metres out from the Manly line, and the ball is played back, and it's Doug Rawlings who goes up, hits the line. He clenched at his head after he'd taken a heavy hit. He plays the ball now. They're inside the 10-metre line and tackled and put to ground. In possession is Pat O'Doherty. Back it comes for Cameron Blair. Away now. Bukowski has lost the ball. It looked to be knocked down by Manly. They've come up with the ball anyway.
I think he's made a mistake there. I think Manly knocked that ball on, Ray. I think you're right.
I'm pretty sure I am right. He's obviously ruled, though, that if they did knock it, they knocked it backwards, but I would have thought it was certainly a knock-on against Manly, and if West had have come up with it, it should have been 6 more. This is Shelford now for Manly, standing, getting it back to Hosking. Hosking tackle about 15 metres out from his line. He and Shelford have done an enormous amount of work. That's Hosking and Shelford for Manly. Now it's with Lyons fading across the ground, picking up the flat runner, Tuvey. Tuvey gets it back. He picks up a runner in the shape of O'Connor. O'Connor gets it back to Stokes. O'Connor was held back. There could be a penalty here. There could be a penalty. No, he's giving Western Suburbs the ball, and they play on with it. But he was looking and running shoulder to shoulder with an incident in the back play where Mike O'Connor was held out of the play, and I thought, well, you've seen it, and you'll rule accordingly, but he's allowed play to go on, and Flanagan is tackled for Western Suburbs, and the Manly defence continues to drive the Magpies into the ground. Here's Pat O'Doherty now.
That is the enigma of Cliff Lyons, but isn't it? He's made a couple of mistakes, and he's just put on a magnificent ball for Tuvey, put him into open spaces.
Henjack comes away from dummy half, puts in the kick on the last, the ball bouncing down towards the try line, but there doesn't seem to be very much urgency in the chase again. The kick is there, but the chase is not on.
Yeah, one winger and the lock got there.
So it's with Hancock for Manly. He plays at 12 metres out from his line. O'Donnell gets the pass away. White, the second rower, is tackled now. He reaches the 22-metre line.
If they come this way, we're in trouble.
Western Suburbs with only 4 players. They are coming this way. And it's with O'Connor after Lyons had got him the ball. O'Connor standing in the tackle, refusing to go down. Now he goes down under the tackle of Mackay. Ball played there by O'Connor. Lyons, the dummy half, gets it to Hosking. Heavens above, he does plenty of work, but he's lost it. O'Doherty goes away with it for Western Suburbs. He plays it forward, and it's a penalty. It's a penalty to Manly. He's ruling that this man, O'Doherty, didn't release the ball. The rule says you'll get to your feet immediately, place or drop the ball on the ground, and then the ball will be contested by 2 players, or if there's no marker, 1 player, but you must strike the ball with the foot and release it from the hands. And that's what he ruled there. O'Doherty didn't know that rule. And it's with Manly after the tap has been taken, and Hosking, you might think he's the only forward I know, but I'm telling you, he's had plenty to play. This is Shelford now, and he's held, standing like a colossus there, the big Kiwi, plays the ball. O'Donnell gets it away now for Jones. Jones is over the halfway. He got through the tackle of Pat O'Doherty, and eventually he's pulled down by Doug Rawlings. Plays it back to O'Donnell. O'Donnell to O'Connor. O'Connor comes across the ground, shapes to pass, can't. And Cameron Blair cuts him down eventually with the help of one of his teammates. It was Steve Jackson. And a penalty to Manly. Penalty to Manly.
Well, they're making Manly's job easy, Ray. They're just falling down on some basics. So the man was well and truly tackled, and that was needless to give that penalty away there. That just hasn't done their cause any good at all. They're going to take the kick this time.
7 minutes. 7 minutes of time in the first half remaining. Manly 8, West 6. And a penalty kick at goal coming up for Mike O'Connor. Let's go to the sideline. Tony Megahey. I see a change going on for Western Suburbs.
Yes, Ray. Jason Liddon coming on. We're just waiting on the replacement. There's obviously an injured player there. We'll just wait and see, but Liddon on.
Steve Jackson's left the field.
Steve Jackson has come off. He was the man actually penalised in that incident on Mike O'Connor. And I thought I saw him clutch at a hamstring. He's just walked straight from the ground, and Liddon went straight on. O'Connor's kick in flight is falling short and wide. And coming away with it is fullback Brett Doherty. He gets around the first attempted tackle. Still going, Doherty. Good broken field runner. Eventually pulled down and tackled there by the number 10, David Hosking. Western Suburbs now on their second, on this set of 6, on their own 22. Flanagan throws a couple of dummies, then gets the pass away to O'Doherty. He gets a pass inside for Liddon. Liddon gets the pass away. It's gone back through Rawlings to Henjack. The little man finds a hole. It closes as Tuvey makes the tackle, and Henjack plays the ball. Simmons the dummy half. It's gone away from Rawlings to Casado. Good tackle out there by Ronson. Casado interfered with playing the ball. Penalty to Western Suburbs.
Yeah,
2 metres on their side of the halfway.
Good penalty there. They pulled his leg when he was about to play the ball, and that was a fair penalty.
So it's going to be the line finder to be taken by Brett Doherty.
Danger time now coming into the last 5 minutes of the first half. Amazing how many points are scored. Really a good opportunity for West now as the clock does wind down.
I've liked the look of Manly's defence, though, at the try line. I think Manly have looked very strong and very composed in their defence, when West have threatened.
O'Doherty to play the ball now, and he plays it. It comes across to Henjack. Away it comes now to Bukowski. Almost through an opening. Liddon was running onto it, but he didn't get the ball. It's come to Henjack. Run around with Flanagan. Little ball for Cogger. Wide ball for Casado. Casado hammered to the ground. Good tackle by O'Connor. He's made some very good ball and all tackles. Now it's Trevor Cogger who's tackled. 24 metres out from the Manly line. He'll play the ball back now for Flanagan. Flanagan to Henjack. Henjack goes around the run around on Rawlings. The ball, though, comes to the second run around player, Cameron Blair, and he's tackled on the 22 on 5. So 8 points to 6 in favour of Manly. 4 minutes first half to go. Henjack goes to the air. Henjack goes through, so does Liddon. Oh, Liddon had it in his hands and dropped it with the line wide open. So it's going to be a turnover. Manly's David Ronson to play it. 5 metres out from the line. I'm just looking at the ABC replay. Liddon had that ball in his hands, and he only had a metre to go to the line, and he had a Manly player between him and the line, and momentum could have easily taken him across.
I was going to say, I was wondering whether West could get through a set of tackles and not give a penalty away and get good ball. Well, they've done better than that. Manly are knocked on, and they've got a scrum feed 5 metres out from the Manly line. This is a great opportunity.
A great opportunity for the Magpies, keeping in mind that if they beat Manly, it opens up an opportunity for Parramatta to sneak back into the 5. It's come from Henjack and then to Cogger, to Casado, the run around for Cogger, but beautifully read there by David Ronson, played quickly. Casado's inside the 22, but they just become disorganised in attack, Western Suburbs. as they get up and play the ball now. It's come away from Ainscough to O'Doherty, and now they're tackled about 15 metres out from the Manly line. Played back to Flanagan, gone to Henjack. This is Cogger. Now it's with Blair out wide. He steps, Tuvi's got him around the bootlaces, and Cameron Blair plays the ball back to Cogger. Cogger to Rawlings. Rawlings with a grubber kick. Stokes goes across. The Western Suburbs winger comes quickly, but it's gone in touch in goal, and a line dropout. Yeah, for Manly, 2 minutes of time remaining.
Better kick that time. They put a nice little grubber into the in-goal area, and Stokes was forced to play at the ball. He had to take it, and he ran in touch in goal. Another good opportunity for them.
Manly taking their time with the line dropout, and that's good tactics with the clock showing they've got a couple of minutes of this crucial period of the game. They're leading 8-6. I would think the Western Suburbs coach, he mightn't be happy with their execution and their play, but he certainly would be happy with the scoreboard, I would think, given that they're running into a breeze worth about 8 points. A great tackle by Tuvey and also by Cunningham on Doherty. O'Doherty takes it up. He's not the most fashionable of players, but he certainly hammers it up. It's all brute strength on the part of Pat O'Doherty. Cameron Blair comes from the blind side, goes to the open side, met and tackled by O'Donnell. Henjack puts on a blindside play with several runners. Casado the recipient. The kick goes to Hosking. Hosking, even when he's hiding, he finishes up with the football. And he'll play the ball about 32 metres out from his own line.
Pretty dumb kick there from Tony Casado, really nothing on. And even if the kick had have got through the defensive line, there was never any Western Suburbs chases.
That's right. Stokes would have cleaned it up, so it would have amounted to nothing, and it was just a waste of possession, really, that one.
Ronson now for Manly is tackled about 8 metres on his side of the halfway. He'll play the ball back to dummy half and hooker O'Donnell. Shelford runs as a decoy. It's a long ball for Tuvey. Tuvey runs diagonally across the ground, stops and then gets it back to Hosking. Hosking up towards halfway, gets a ball around the corner. Lions can't handle. The ball is with Manly, touched by Western Suburbs. 6 more tackles, and it's played there by O'Donnell, and it's gone from dummy half Lions away to Shelford. Shelford away now. It's loose. Picked up off the ground there, I do believe, by Cunningham, and he'll play the ball about 7 or 8 metres into Western Suburbs territory. It's come across to Lions. A long ball for Tuvey. They've got the numbers. Tuvey's through an opening. Tuvey's up towards quarter. There's going to be a try on. O'Connor dummies around Doherty, steps around Henjack, and Michael O'Connor goes in for a beautiful try. Beautiful try by Mike O'Connor after Tuvey had sliced through the opening. And that's a 12 points to 6 scoreline in favour of Manly now.
Well, that was bad defence by a West centre there. He let Tuvey, he ran up and opened a hole for Tuvey behind him. He just welcomed him through the gap, and that was see you later. If they're going to let Tuvey run across field, they're going to be in trouble all day long. They've got to go up and then in on him and kill him off and kill the ball off. It's on television now, Ray.
Well, it was quite simple. Tuvey ran diagonally across the ground. He developed numbers, and then he ran at the hole. He ran at the gap between the players. He got through the gap because they were outnumbered. Then he gave it to O'Connor running the angle, and O'Connor, he showed what has made him one of the top internationals, both as a wallaby and as a kangaroo. He stepped and made Doherty and Henjack look bad, but it was one-on-one stuff. He has that stuff for breakfast, Mike O'Connor. He has converted his own try, and Manly lead 14-6. And I said to you, I think the score needs to be 8 points in favour of the team running with the wind in the first half. And lo and behold, that's how it's finished. And for Western Suburbs, Henjack a try and Doherty a conversion. The scoreline 14-6 in favour of Manly. The scrums and penalties. The scrums are 9-3 to Western Suburbs. The penalties are 7-4 to Manly. Peter Sterling.
Yes, unfortunately, I think that might be the final nail in West Coffin. Worst possible time to have a try scored against you in that final 5 minutes of play. And I know it's a little thing, and I don't want to harp back onto it too much, but again, I look back to that kick of Tony Casado's, where really it was on the fourth tackle. If they could have kept possession, worked one in and put maybe another bomb up, where they did have a little bit, or went close to having success with Jason Liddon going through, they may well have come up with a result there, or even a line dropout or something, and had possession down the other end of the field. So it's amazing just how little things in the game really can prove to be crucial, and I think that that kick, when really there was nothing on, is going to prove very crucial in the final wash-up in this match.
Okay, just before taking a break, let's play the 2GB Makita football fixture card game. It's brought to you by Mitre 10. Take a look at the number printed on the back of your card. If the number is between 20,000 and 50,000. The number today between 20,000 and 50,000. Call us straight away on 287 2700. 287 2700. If you're the first caller through, you'll win a sensational league supporters jumper from Sport M Sportswear and a top-quality Steedon football. You can get the 2GB Makita footy fixture card from all Mitre 10 stores, liquor stop outlets, Harvey Norman discounts and leagues clubs accordingly. We'll take a break and be back for the half-time chat between Warren Ryan and Peter Sterling in just a moment.
You should shop at the liquor stop.
Look for the big red liquor stop sign, and every week you'll find the best prices on beers, wines and spirits. This week's specials include 2 litre Yolumba traditional wine casks, $6.49. Chateau Remy Special Brut, $10.99. Hardy's Black Bottle Brandy, $15.99. And UDL mixed drink cans, $2.50 each. Check the yellow pages for your nearest liquor stop store where you'll stop, shop and save every week.
Nobody does it better. Makes me feel sad for the rest. Nobody does it half as good as you. LJ Hooker, you're the best.
Whether you're buying or selling, talk to LJ Hooker.
Nobody does it better. LJ Hooker, you're the best.
If you're a fleet buyer and you're thinking about new cars, make sure you get a quote from Auto Village Holden.
Auto Village will come to your office and give you a valuation on the vehicles you have to trade.
They have the full range of General Motors Holden models available for immediate delivery.
Auto Village prices are the cheapest and the trade-ins are the biggest.
Auto Village Holden, 266 Hume Highway at Cabramatta.
Call them on 728-7333.
Auto Village for the right service and the right price.
What makes world champion?
Well, that's what we said before the game started, that really, with the likes of especially Cliff Lyons, if you give him thinking time and allow him time to do things, he is going to make you pay. And really, that's exactly what Western Suburbs are doing. They're not putting pressure on him to the extent that they're moving it and making him make that decision a touch earlier than he would like to. And he's going to continue opening up holes. Again, he's made mistakes, but he's certainly put on some great balls for his outside men. And with the likes of O'Connor and Ronson and the two wingers, quick wingers outside, they're just going to be too good out wide, unfortunately, and it all augurs very ordinary for Parramatta.
Well,
I'm afraid.
I get the feeling, just watching it, the way that, I mean, we said just before halftime, you made mention of the fact that this is a critical period. Now, at the time of the game when you said that, West were down pressing Manly's line, and it was a critical period, but as events will have it, the critical period happened at the other end of the field a minute or so later, and Manly were in under the post for a try. And I just get the impression that just watching that last passage of play prior to half-time, I don't know, unless there's a complete turnaround and West come out and really consolidate and get their defensive act together, I get the impression that this could be a very, very big score. I'm talking in the high 30s, Serlo. That's the sort of impression I'm getting looking at the game at the moment. Even though it's only 14-6 at the moment, I just get the feeling that it's got all the potential, all the earmarks of being a scoreline up in the high 30s or beyond.
Yeah, I tend to agree, and this is probably the kind of play we'll expect from Balmain tomorrow at Leichhardt, I'd imagine. Some willy-nilly stuff inside the own quarter, throwing the ball around.
Well, it's funny that you brought that up. I was going to ask you, do an interview with you and ask you, what's the best way to contain Peter Sterling, would you think? Now, I mean, you're an experienced halfback. What would you say? What's the best way to contain Sterling?
Well, mate, I think
for Coach Ryan to
you've got
some tactics.
You've got to sledge pretty heavily. Obviously, the fact that he's got a receding hairline and big nose and stuff, think that he can be put off his game if you raise these kind of matters. But or put a bloke like Matt Parrish there who wants to bash you. So that might be a good move.
Actually, that's not the intention.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Matt's a very clean player, but the idea of Matt being there is to try and get some semblance of organisation and control into our play, because without Freeman and Neil, I mean, the old motor's going to run a little bit rough, and we tried to get somebody in there that had some kind of stability of calling and getting the play revolving around him a little bit. That was the object. That wasn't to put an X-lock forward in there or at halfback and just to terrorise you.
I know that, and in fact what you've done by doing that is put pressure back on myself and the Parramatta side. When you're coming up against an established half like Gary Freeman and that, you've got a tough afternoon, you know that there's no way knowing that we can go in underestimating a bloke like Matt Parrish. Wherever he is on the paddock, you know he's going to do the job as he's done for you before, and so he's going to be an integral part.
Can you believe this?
I know that this is...
Can you believe this? The butter up go?
Mate, the press all week have said...
Get your trowel out.
The press all week have said how Parrish is you know, what does he got to do? Mate, you've got to turn that around because...
Absolute dummy.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is too.
Absolute
Too
dummy.
smart to fall for that.
Righto, now, what do West got to do with Lyons and Tooby? I mean, how do they deal with them? They're the agents of all them, you know, of all the problems that West are getting, really, you know, the non-self-inflicted variety. I mean, I think West have done a couple of silly little things with that kick you mentioned. I mean, that was disastrous. It wasn't, no, there was nothing available to them. They did one on the other side of the field and they did one this side, West. So they're making their own headaches. But, I mean, what about the headache of Lyons and Tooby, Sterlo? How are they going to contain them this half?
Well, if you're going to contain those kind of players, as we've said, you've got to just be very good defensively, which means there's got to be good communication. If they start running angles, you can't have two players falling onto one player and leaving that hole. So there's got to be talk. They've got to all be moving forward, and they've got to make sure that they're getting there that touch second earlier than Lyons and Tooby want them to, so that they have to make a decision early. We've seen Cliff Lyons, as I said earlier, I know I keep harking on this, but he's made some mistakes in this game when he's been under pressure. When he's got time to run the football, you know, he's going to hurt you.
Okay, there's the kick-off to start the second half. Let's go immediately down to sideline I, Tony Megahey.
No changes, Rabbits, other than Liddon in early in that first half, but Graham Lowe, the instructions just to consolidate for the first 15 minutes and cut out those mistakes.
And, Tony, let me ask you, what was the injury to Jackson, do you know?
He's got a hamstring, Ray.
Okay, thank you. Tony Megahey on the sideline, and this is Flanagan for Western Suburbs with the ball on his own 22. The ball has come across now to Pat O'Doherty. Western Suburbs, to have any hope, have got to strike back and strike back quickly. They should go for the kick on an early tackle. They've opted to ruck it out for 4 plays now, in fact 5 plays, and the ball played by Jason Liddon as it goes back now to Doherty. Doherty gets the kick in on the predictable tackle, and it's marked there by Smith, the try scorer. Peter pointed out at half-time I called him Shaw, and I was getting a little bit confused because Shaw is a little bit different in colouring. As the ball now is with White. He'll play the ball for Manly just on his side of halfway. Shelford thumps it up to the halfway mark, gets over the ad line. In fact, he makes valuable yards as the Western Suburbs defence is a little bit fragile, and a penalty goes now to Manly and against the tacklers from Western Suburbs. So Manly will be probably looking to find the line on the hillside of Brookvale and thus launch another attack from just outside the 22.
Just such a poor start by West at the beginning of both halves, really giving away that first penalty. You know that the referee is going to be looking for a 5-metre penalty or a holding down in the play the ball penalty, and they've been penalised a couple of times in the first half early in the game, and again they've started off the second half the same way.
That's a self-inflicted wound, that one, isn't it? It's unnecessary. They've put themselves under pressure, and they're in trouble now, right now.
Here's Jones going ahead. He's taken play to within 15 metres of the Western Suburbs line. It's gone now to Shelford. Shelford is tackled, and he'll play the ball in centre field, 10 metres out, and he plays that ball now, and it's O'Donnell sneaking away from dummy half, turning it back now for the lock forward Cunningham. Cunningham met by the Western Suburbs defence and forced back. Still no gaining ground, but they're only 10 metres out from the line. Back it goes to Lyons. Lyons on to Tooby. Tooby runs the angle, finds O'Connor coming flat. O'Connor puts the kick into vacant space. Here's a chance for O'Connor, but it's gone over the dead ball line with a Western Suburbs player, I felt. Gathered in out there by Mackay. It should be a line dropout. Henjack is arguing the point. But I'm blowed if I know how Ivan can have any idea, because he was a mile away looking at it from behind, and there's no question looking at the ABC replay that the ball was carried over the dead ball line by Mackay.
Great dropout. It's gone 75 metres.
It's a huge dropout. Stokes brings it back over the 32. He's back to the 40, and Henjack was the first man down there, but he brushed him off, and Stokes makes a long run. He'll play the ball a few metres on his own side of the halfway. O'Donnell gets out from dummy half. O'Donnell, a busy little dummy half player. He'll play it now, held by Cogger in the tackle. Away it goes for Shelford. A short ball on a fairly narrow blindside there to Smith, the winger. And Smith...
Boy, are they deep. Are they lined out deep here, Manly?
They are. In fact, they cover more like 40 metres of turf with their back line very, very deep. Out to Tooby, then to Lyons. Here goes the ball out for the deep backs. Stokes takes it, gets it back inside for Ronson. Ronson takes it deep into West Territory to the tune of 15 metres. And Ronson to play the ball. Dummy half Lyons, long torpedo pass to Tooby. Tooby looks for an opening, tries to slice through, He's tackled on number 5 by Cogger and O'Doherty. Back to Lyons now, looking for the line, puts in the kick, fielded there by Simmons, the winger, and he goes back to the defence line and is pulled down by Cunningham. Played back to Casato. Casato away now for Doherty. Doherty through the tackle of O'Donnell, but he wasn't going ahead. He was going across as we go sideline eye with Tony Megahey.
The West are starting to, the discipline starting to break. The resistance is coming down. Manly are about to open them up.
Western Suburbs trailing by 14 points to 6. 5 minutes gone. Second half. Cameron Blair crosses the 22-metre line. Plays it back to Flanagan. Flanagan to Henjack. Henjack on the blind side, finding Casato. His legs taken from under him by Ronson. Picked up quickly in the play the ball by Simmons. He kicks ahead on the 5th tackle. Fielded by Stokes. Stokes runs towards the territory, over towards the hill. He's pursued by Simmons, the kicker. Then he throws a dummy. Gets away. Throws a pass, but it goes over the sideline.
Well,
and a scrum will go down.
There's a let-off. I mean, they're in trouble, West, out on that far sideline, and Stokes has thrown the ball behind his winger and it's gone into touch, and it's a chance for West to gain possession.
Scrum to pack about 5 or 6 metres on the Manly side of the halfway mark. 14 points to 6 in favour of the Eagles over the Magpies. The battle of the birds. Henjack to work it. Won by Wests. Away to Cogger now. Cogger gets the ball onto Ainscough. Ainscough about 6 or 7 metres into Manly's territory. Plays the ball. Cogger the dummy half. It's with Cameron Blair. Head down and a penalty. Manly inside the 5. And Western Suburbs probably should take the kick with only 5 minutes gone second half. The kick would be about 35 metres in length, right in front, and they have opted that way. So Brett Doherty will come up and take a penalty shot for Western Suburbs that would bring them to 14 points to 8 down. Crowd here at Brookvale, not big. In fact, probably around about 8,000 people would pull it up.
Sterlo, the kick of West, that kick that was just put downfield, went right down Stokes' throat. They've got problems with their kick and chase game, haven't they, West?
Yeah, I'm sure that John Bailey must be aware of that, and I thought that would have been addressed at half-time. Wayne Simmons isn't a recognised kicker. It was, late in the tackle count, may well have been the last. And you've got to kick to open spaces, and you've got to play good field position. As Doherty doesn't hit this one well, hit the post. Comes back into the field of play, and that's a let-off for Manly, I suppose.
And Ronson it is who comes out beyond his own quarterway line after the ball rebounded heavily off the uprights. It's gone to Shelford. Shelford keeps the roll on for Manly. He's tackled there by Cameron Blair over the top. Liddon underneath. It's gone from O'Donnell, and it's now with Hosking. Hosking makes a few metres, and he's tackled midway, 22 halfway. Manly's into the ground. Manly leading by 14 points to 6 as Lyons gives a ball off his hip to O'Connor. O'Connor to Stokes. Stokes looking for an opening, but Casato is there to hold him. And it'll be played by the Manly full-back, Frank Stokes. And O'Donnell feeds the ball away to Cunningham. Cunningham is held a couple of metres on his side of the halfway. And 5 tackles gone now for Manly. O'Donnell feeds it back to Lyons. Lyons kicks. His kick goes down, bounces on the 22, fielded by Doherty. Doherty goes across to the hillside of the ground. Now he straightens, beats the tackle of Hosking, but he doesn't beat the tackle of White, and he's put down by White and Ronson. The dummy half had a bit of a run. Doug Rawlings, tackled by Ronson, gone to Henjack. Infield pass now, and coming onto the ball was it was Magpie. Magpie, the winger, who's played the ball. It's come from Henjack. A cutout ball over to Casato. And Casato is pulled down by Jeff Tuvey and also by Cunningham. Dummy half Cameron Blair to Henjack, and now away to Bukowski. Bukowski is pulled to ground, but they've used up about 4 tackles and gone nowhere. They're on the last tackle. Henjack decides to run the ball. The pass was forward. It went to Magpie, back to Henjack. Henjack puts in a kick. It's gone down into the in-goal area. Henjack seemed to be felled late. The referee said no. Stokes, the fullback, is tackled now. 3 metres away from the Manly line.
Great tackle, Trevor Cogger. If he'd have beaten Cogger there, he had 30 yards before, or 30 metres before the next defender moving down.
8 minutes gone, second half. No change to the half-time score. Manly leading Western Suburbs by 14 points to 6. And the ball to be played by John Jones for Manly. Plays it back. O'Donnell comes out of dummy half. Finds an opening. Goes through it. He's over the 40 and he's up to the halfway. He ran away from Tuvey's support. Then he got a pass away when he was under pressure. He would have been much better taking that one to bed with him.
Should be a penalty to Wests.
Western Suburbs get a penalty after they picked up the loose ball. O'Connor interfered with Simmons, and Western Suburbs get a penalty. 5 metres their side of halfway. But David O'Donnell decided that time, rather than to supply the ball to his runners, to have a little go himself, and he went through the gap. And West take the penalty. The tap coming up. Sideline eye, Tony Megahey.
Well, he destroyed a lot of good work, O'Donnell. Made the break. Should have given it early. Finished up conceding a penalty.
Flanagan to play the ball now. About 30 metres out from the Manly line. It's gone through Henjack's hands to Bukowski and then on to Casato. Casato to play the ball. Dummy half is Rawlings. He comes left and gives it to Henjack. Henjack away to Cogger, is it? And Cogger will play the ball almost on the Manly quarter-way line. 10 minutes gone, second half. Western Suburbs trailing by 8 points. And the play is on the Manly 22 mark. West having trouble finding an opening close to the play the ball. Liddon gets a pass back for Rawlings, back to Blair. Blair goes through an opening. Cameron Blair is tackled 12 metres out from the line. Last tackle, Henjack calls it, decides to run with the ball, then he gives it to Bukowski, who kicks. There's a try! There's a try on! Yes, Simmons! Wayne Simmons has scored for Western Suburbs.
Some great play by Bukowski on the last. He's put it down. I don't know if it was meant, but...
Hey, that was amazing. There was an opportunity to drive the Common coach through on the right-hand side of the field, and they've gone left through a brick wall, and the grubber's got them home.
Well, he realises that Doherty's better kicking side is from this side, so the conversion will be a little bit easier. But great play by Bukowski. He got a couple of kicks in, and a lucky rebound sees Wayne Simon score in the corner.
Yeah, let's have a look at it on the head-on, whether or not, in fact, Simmons forces the ball with downward pressure.
I think he does, Ray. And a bit of soccer there through the legs.
Oh, George Best, you've got nothing on him. It's a try for sure watching the replay. Simmons, the winger, getting it down with downward pressure. About 3 metres in from the touchline on the grandstand side, scoreboard end. After the ball on the last tackle came to the obvious kicker, Henjack, he decided to run a couple of paces and give it to Bukowski, who then put a grubber kick in, the front rower, put a grubber kick in, then he kept it on the toe. Simmons was following through, and lo and behold, the Magpies have come up with a try to trail 14-10. Conversion attempt coming around. It's a goal. It's a goal for Doherty and a goal for the Magpies. They're back to 14 points to 12, and we've got a ball game on our hands here. Sideline eye, Tony Megahey.
Well, we certainly have. That's opened it right up. A good kick by Bukowski. Got a lucky rebound, but still the points are there. Here's a Manly replacement. Dunford warming up.
Dunford will come on for Manly. As the ball is placed for the restart, kicked off by Jones, and he gives it a big thump. It goes down to the Western Suburbs try line. Mackay, the big winger, he brings it back, running in those lycra shorts, those cycle shorts made of lycra. Now it's gone across to Cameron Blair. Blair gets it back to Mackay. He's big enough to hold a you-know-what out to do you-know-what, this fellow Mackay. And he should get himself in there and get more involved and take a bit of the weight off some of these tiring forwards. As the ball is played by Bukowski, it's come away for O'Doherty. Lions went high. O'Doherty makes a few metres. They're midway, 22 halfway, their own end of the ground. Flanagan gets a kick in before being felled by Cunningham. Stokes is there, no pressure on him. Cogger's there trying to tackle him, and Stokes eventually is felled 35 out from his own line.
Again, a poor kicking game. The ball only went 25 metres. A penalty against Western Suburbs now. They're right back in their own territory again. They've got to be belting this ball down. They've got the wind behind them. They should be kicking at 50 or 60 metres. This Graham Mackay, the winger, I've seen him kick the ball that far. Maybe he should come in and take a little bit of pressure off the kickers inside.
So it's Manly now with the tap about 10 metres into West Territory, and Hosking goes ahead. He makes the 32-metre line, and he plays the ball. It's come to Shelford. Shelford, he loves to take the ball up on the second play. He gets it back and down to O'Donnell. O'Donnell pulled down by Flanagan. Flanagan will play it just outside the Western Suburbs quarter. It's gone to Jones now. Jones is in the centre of the ground. He's over the quarter-way line. He'll play the ball. The tackler was Bukowski. It's gone away for Tuvey. They're very, very deep. Back to Hosking, back to Tuvey. Now they fade. They come from one side to the other, the centres. Down goes O'Connor. Good tackle by Blair. He lost the ball in the tackle, and a scrum will go down 32 metres out from the Western Suburbs line. Let me describe that. They got to the centre of the ground where they wanted to get. They had a back line very deep to the left. Then it was Tuvey and Hosking. They worked a double shuffle, and the centres come across as a pair, so the back line that was deep on the left finished up deep on the right. Very effective stuff, but Western Suburbs that time, they didn't fall for it. Henjack to work it. Won by the Magpies. It's gone over to Cogger. Cogger gets it off to Casato. He slips over on a Brookvale Oval that's looking very barren, as are several of the grounds, as it goes away to Rawlings, now to Magpie, coming in closer to the action, doing a bit of heavy work. Plays the ball back. Rawlings gets it off to O'Doherty. In he goes and Crunch. Gets it away to Henjack. On to Cogger. Back to Casado. And Casado, he puts the ball. He goes down with the ball. 10 metres his side of halfway. It's 14 points to 12 in favour of the Eagles over the Pies. Ball to be played now. Played back by the winger Simons. It's come away now for Jason Liddon to go ahead, and he met the defence full on. Jason Liddon from Junee, the hometown of Laurie Daly. Back it goes to Doherty. Doherty puts up the big kick. Down it goes, down to the winger, Smith, who scored the first points of the game. Smith is tackled there by his opposite number, Simons, on his own 22. Stokes comes away from dummy half. Casado at marker makes the tackle, not with a great deal of ferocity, however. Played by Stokes. O'Donnell gets it to Shelford. Here comes the big man, Cameron Blair. He's not frightened to go up and take him high. And he does that again as O'Donnell goes away from dummy half. Tackled by Bukowski and Flanagan. Manly leading by 2. 15 minutes gone, second half. Tuvey. Oh, he holds it back. And he tried to get through a gap that was made by Henjack going up quickly on the play the ball. 5 tackles gone. The ball is loose. Lyons looked at knock on. The referee said no. Lyons floats the ball out to Stokes now. Stokes puts a centre field kick in. It's going straight to Doherty. Up he goes. He makes a meal of it. Down it comes. But the referee is ruling that it came off a Manly hand. The referee ruled that it came off a Manly hand, and he's going to put a scrum down just outside the 22. Watching the replay, the ref has ruled that Cliff Lyons got a hand to it. I'm not so sure that he did, to tell you the truth. Doherty was first man up. Lyons went up with him, but I don't know that Lyons even got anywhere near putting a hand on it. But the referee ruled that it was a knock-on by Manly. The scrum has since gone down, won by Western Suburbs, and it's played by Ainscough. Dummy half Cogger. He gets it away. Oh, a crunching tackle by Jones, snuffing out any thought of going ahead by Rawlings. It's gone from Henjack out to Casado. Holds it back. It goes to Megahey. He's put it down. Stokes picks up the ball. Stokes goes for the corner. Stokes goes in to score for Manly. 18 points to 12. Drop ball by Magpie. Casado did his job. Then he gave the ball to Magpie. Let me see how easy it was to catch. Casado held it back, trying to make a hole. Well, Magpie snatched at it. He snatched at it, put it on the turf. Stokes picked it up beautifully like an eagle should, and he sprinted 22 metres to score, and probably snuffing out the Western Suburbs resurgence.
Yeah, very aimless piece of play by Western Suburbs. They hadn't done anything constructive in the first couple of plays. Were pretty much forced to go wide because there was no one coming to take the ball forward. And we see a mistake out wide. Stokes runs in a very easy try. And if this conversion goes over, it might just put Manly way out of touch.
Western Suburbs, you mean? Oh, of course, Manly would lead by 20 to 12 and put themselves out of touch.
I think so, Ray. Yeah, 8 points might be just too much.
Sorry, Peter. Comments today from Peter Sterling and Warren Ryan, who'll do battle tomorrow at Leichhardt when Balmain plays Parramatta. O'Connor's round the corner kick. It looks okay, but it's just across the face. Just across the face of the uprights. And so it comes back to the halfway mark for the restart. 18 points to 12 in favour of Manly over Western Suburbs. Number 16 coming on. Let's go to the eye. Tony Megahey.
Yeah, well, there was another West mistake. Gee, West can use a coach with a bit of discipline next year. It's a coach that'll pull those blokes into line.
Stan Pressody.
Well, there's some discipline for you. Mackay's made a mistake and he's come straight off. Presty's gone out to the far wing.
Pressody going on. I hope that's how you pronounce it. Pressody going on for Magpie.
Presty. I think. Presty.
One too many I, Ray.
I don't know.
What do you reckon it is?
P-R-E-S-D-E-E. Presty.
All right, Presty will do me. Good as goal. The kick-off going dangerously close to going out on the full. Fielded by the winger Smith. And he comes back to the 22-metre line to be tackled. Manly leading by 18 to 12. And 19 minutes gone, second half.
Just in defence of Magpie, I noticed Presty, when he's gone on the wing, he keeps putting his hand up to his eyes. The players over that side of the field have all got their hands over their eyes. The sun's low and shining right in their faces, so that could account for that drop ball. He did snatch at it, but I think he might have had an excuse for dropping it.
Good point, Warren Ryan. Back to Jones for a kick, and Jones's kick is a long one down to Doherty, into the breeze, keep in mind. Doherty now comes to the line of defence. He's met by White, the second rower, and by Cunningham, the lock. He plays the ball back, and away goes Simmons, the winger, actually going backwards, and he's been picked off as he goes across the ground by Jones. That brought a roar from the crowd. And so it's Western Suburbs now with Doug Rawlings playing the ball. He goes ahead. It's Ainscoe, in fact. It's gone now to Flanagan. Flanagan ridden to the ground by his opposite number, O'Donnell, and the ball has been taken from him. The crowd give a raspberry to the referee. It should have probably been a penalty to Western Suburbs. If not that, certainly a scrum, but play was allowed to go on. 5 tackles gone for the Magpies. What an awful pass to give the man that's going to kick the ball, Henjack. He gets the kick in, only because he's a professional, but by the same token, it was an awful ball to give Henjack. And now it's Hancock, the winner from Manly, and he plays the ball on his own 22. Lyons away to Stokes. Stokes over the 22 line. He gets away from Cameron Blair's high tackle, and he goes across the park. The ball is on the ground, and the Magpies come up with a good opportunity. This is their first tackle on a set of 6 that has been started for them on the Manly 22 by a Manly mistake from their fullback Stokes. It's come away to Henjack and gone to Bukowski, back to Henjack. He's through an opening. Henjack's in the clear. Oh, Henjack. He had a player, Cameron Blair, outside him. He went himself. They might have muffed a try here. It's gone to Simons. He's tackled. Put down by Smith. It was a certain try. Absolutely bombed by Ivan Henjack. Simons to play it. Close to the line. Away it goes to Casado. Now it's gone outdoor. They're playing tiddlywinks with it now. And it's a knock-on both ways. A scrum to go down. 18 metres out from the Manly line. Henjack was running free. He had Blair on his outside. He opted to step the fullback. He only had to pass to Blair, and Blair had to score.
There's a feed, one against the head.
Flanagan wins it against the head. Casado is tackled 15 metres out from the Manly line. He's not really a centre, Casado. Well, I don't think he is, but he's doing a job, obviously, as a stopgap centre for the Magpies, doing his best. But I think Tony's probably lacking a couple of metres in pace for that position. Out it comes from Henjack. Now Liddon. Liddon's through a hole. Manly's opening up. It's gone back for Cameron Blair. And it's no try.
Penalty.
It's a penalty. Double movement.
I won't wear that one. Let's have a look at that one. I'd like to see that again. I think that was a fair try. Let's have a look.
Well, I don't know, Warren. I think it was a double movement.
Well, let's
have a look at it, boys. He falls short, and then he tends to promote the ball with the arm carrying the ball. I reckon the referee's right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought there was some
momentum there.
The arm didn't really go up in the air at all.
I still think he promoted the ball with the arm carrying the ball.
Yeah, but, mate, I want him to score next to the post, don't I? I don't care whether it goes up in the air.
Mate, I wouldn't mind if they won either, but at least I'm calling it as I see it.
Yeah, that's true. Another mistake from Manly. They're giving him some chances, aren't they?
Yeah, West are getting some chances. They'll make a game of this if they get in under the posts.
They've got their
How do we go if it's a draw? Well, what's the story with Parramatta if it's a draw?
Wouldn't make any difference, I wouldn't think. It'd be a similar result, would it not? Anyway, West win the scrum. He wants it back.
From 27.
27.
No, you're in striking distance.
Still a chance.
You can equal them then.
Henjack feeds. West win. Henjack gives it out to Cogger. Cogger gets a ball. They used a fancy play. It was a fancy play with a run around by Henjack on Cogger. Then it was supposed to go to the lock on the inside.
He's ruled a forward pass.
It was a forward pass and a bad pass. So Manly now feed the scrum.
Crucial stage of the game, that. If West really need to score some points in this to take advantage of this pressure they've had down there. If Manly get a way out of here, I think that might be the chance gone.
This is Jones now.
Well, Jones has come straight out of the scrum and worked hard for Manly.
He's had a big game.
I'd say they'll get right out of trouble here. They'll work their plays and they'll get their kick away.
Sideline eye, Tony Megahey.
Oh, this is an act of God. Good luck more than good management. Manly out of that one.
So it's with Hosking now. He's outside the 32-metre line. Good yards again by Hosking. He's played very strong in this game today. Crowd calling for a penalty as he's not allowed to play the ball. Lyons puts in a little kick. O'Connor gets the rebound. Beautiful play by Lyons and O'Connor. They know each other's plays so beautifully. Last tackle, Lyons goes from dummy half up to the 22. Floats the pass out. It was forward. It goes over the touchline anyway. And it's going to be a turnover on the Western Suburbs 22 line. Repeating the score, 16 minutes to go. Manly 18, Western Suburbs 12, and the 2GB World of Football, World of Sport Marathon continues. It's with Pat O'Doherty now. He lumbers over the quarter line, flicks a pass out the back for Cogger. Still with Western Suburbs, knocked backwards, which it was. Now it's with Cameron Blair. He's over the 22 line. He'll play the ball. Flanagan's the dummy half. Plays it back. Flanagan goes one way, goes the other. It's with Henjack. Cut out pass. Picks up Ainscough. Ainscough gets it away. And it's gone from Presney back to Ainscough. Forward pass. And a scrum will go down about 8 metres on the Western Suburbs side of the halfway as Angelo Alavanja, this giant of a man, possibly one of the biggest forwards in the game, comes onto the field for West to replace a tiring Pat O'Doherty.
That was a tough call for West there. I thought that was quite fair, that pass. He hard volleyed it off the ground. I didn't think it went forward and another opportunity lost. Manly got a put in.
Manly win the scrum. Tuvey comes the open side, picked up by the lock Rawlings in cover. He'll play the ball 10 metres into West area. Out from dummy half comes the lock Cunningham. Penalty goes to Manly. 5 minutes in the bin. 5 minutes for Doug Rawlings in the bin.
Back-chatting.
For back-chatting.
This is a crucial penalty.
A penalty to Manly would take them out of reach of a converted try and give them a cushion of an 8-point lead. So Doug Rawlings in the sin bin for 5 minutes. Let's go to the sidelines, Tony Megahey.
Well, a tough call over that far side. I think play should have gone on. All the breaks have gone with the refereeing decisions. Anything marginal has gone Manly's way. A big help.
O'Connor now, centre of the park. 35 metres out. 18-12, he's got a chance to make it 20-12. The kick in flight is getting wide, very wide. Coming away with the ball from the in goal is Jamie Ainscough. He makes the 10-metre line before being manhandled to ground. Ainscough plays the ball. Simon's dummy half. And coming away with it is Bukowski.
He's played well today. He's tried very hard, Bukowski.
Now it's Alavanja, Angelo Alavanja. Hope here from John Bailey that he might act as a game breaker. Away it goes for Jason Liddon now. Liddon plays the ball on the 32-metre line. Away to Henjack. Henjack across the ground. Short ball for Cameron Blair. Back for Ivan Henjack. He keeps the wrap on out to Ainscough. Then to Henjack, back to Simmons. Simmons gets it back into the centre of the park for Blair, who's monstered by Shelford. 5 tackles gone for the Pies. Away it goes now for Cogger to give it to Alavanja. He puts a kick in. It came off a Manly player. It's play on. And it's gone from forward pass to O'Donnell, knocked on by Lyons.
Well, I'm pleased they knocked it on because he missed the forward pass, Ray.
Yeah, well, he certainly wasn't in a good position to rule on it, but we could see it from here. It was forward a mile. Alavanja's kick came off a Manly player to another in an onside position. The pass from Jones, the man who regathered the ball, was forward, and then the pass to Lyons. Lyons knocked on anyway, but the referee didn't pick up the forward pass. Manly, Western Suburbs win the scrum. A long ball out to Ainscough, back to Cogger, but the ball is loose on the ground and Cogger has to go back and dive on it. Ainscough now comes away with it, but they're down inside their own 10-metre line and they've got a big breeze at their backs. 18-12 in favour of Manly. Flanagan is tackled. He'll play the ball 11 metres out from his own line. Running with the ball is Simmons. He'll play the ball 3 metres inside his own 22. Played back to Henjack. Gone away now to Bukowski. I get the feeling, looking at Henjack's play, since he bombed that certain try, that he's got more and more involved. He realises that he had a chance to bring them level, and he and only he bombed it. And for that reason, he seems to have thrown himself up another gear. This is Hancock for Manly coming out to be tackled on the 40-metre line. Plays it back to Lyons. It's gone across now for Smith to give on to O'Connor. Shows it to Angelo Alavanja. Then gets a pass back and Stokes can't take it. Stokes comes back in field. Gets it to Lyons. On to Tuvey. Tuvey comes across the ground. Looking for the opening to present itself. Throws the pass. Knocked down by Western Suburbs. Manly come up with the football. Played by White. Struck for by Western Suburbs. And a penalty goes to Manly. Against Flanagan for premature striking. And so Henjack asks the question of Weeks, the referee. 11 minutes to go. Mind you, let me say that there's nothing Western Suburbs would appreciate more than to somehow or other deprive Manly of the right to make the semi-finals. You all know of the, not hatred,
well, I think that was a tough penalty too. I thought the Manly player tackled the West marker out of the road then. I think that penalty could have gone the other way, but you know, I think they've had as Tony Megahey said, I think they've had the short end of the, you know, the rough end of the pineapple on a few occasions here.
Knock on by Manly will force a scrum just outside the West 22. The scrums 15 to West, 5 to Manly. They've all gone with the feed, and the penalties 12-6 to Manly. So a couple of interesting statistics there. As I see Jason Taylor limbering up on the sidelines, he's the sort of player that can probably win a game for you, Taylor. He's a sort of a game breaker, if you like. He's got all the plays and he's getting warmed up. John Bailey will use him as his final throw of the dice. Back it comes now for Casado to play it. Plays it and it goes across now for Bukowski. He gets a pass off for Liddon. Liddon looks around, he finds Michael O'Connor, but he plays for the wrong team. Then it's gone to Lyons, on to Smith. Smith inside the quarter, back to Lyons. Henjack does well to take him. Ball and all. Henjack all over the top of him.
They can't hold him out here, Ray. They've had too much possession.
Well, what a mistake by Manly. But it's a penalty to Manly anyway. West's inside the 5. Lyons is clutching at his right foot. Manly have picked up a penalty. Referee Weeks ruling Western Suburbs offside in the play the ball. That was after Henjack had released Lyons from the tackle. I thought Henjack might have been heading for the sin bin, actually, for a professional foul. Dunford has gone on. Hosking has come off. Been a big effort by Hosking. He gets a big round of applause from the crowd. David Hosking, a big effort. And Dunford has gone on. He takes it up on the first play after the tap had been taken. He gets a facial massage from Flanagan. O'Donnell cuts out Shelford. It goes to Tuvey. Now it's with Cunningham. He's held by his opposite number, Rawlings. Play towards the centre of the ground. Manly getting deep out on the left as it goes now to the number 11, John Jones. And he's pulled down 12 metres away from the Western Suburbs line. Again, O'Donnell goes to ruck half. Drop goal attempt by O'Connor, and it's gone wide. So it'll come out to the quarterway line for the restart. Casado has come off. Taylor has gone on. So Cogger will probably go to the centres, and Taylor will go to 5/8 as Angelo Alavanja takes it out to the 32-metre line. A young mountain of a man. As it goes, he's an under-21 player with the Magpies. This is Bukowski. He'll play the ball now. Back to Flanagan. Flanagan away to Cameron Blair. He's tried hard all day, Blair. He plays it back now. It's come back now. Running with the ball is, I think it's Rawlings. He gets up and plays the ball. It's come back now for the kick to Jason Taylor. Dunford tries to put some charge down pressure on. Going back for it is Stokes. He'll bring it back from the 22. Heading out towards the 32, he gives it to Hancock. He's tackled around the legs by Rawlings, and over the top, coming in to complete the tackle was Ainscough. Now it's gone out to White, the second rower, and he's pulled down and tackled 12 metres short of the halfway. We're 7 minutes short of full time. Manly 18, Western Suburbs 12, as it goes to Shelford. Shelford puts a bit of a swerve into his approach. Then he's held by the Western Suburbs players. Henjack had a right hand cocked. I thought he might have been going to give him one for his corner. Mightn't be a wise pastime for Henjack when you're dealing with blokes like Adrian Shelford. Tuvey back to Lyons. Lyons kicks, and the ball going down to Brett Doherty in that part of the ground that hasn't got the shade, and probably giving players a bit of trouble with sighting the ball, as pointed out by Warren Ryan earlier. The ball played by Doherty, and this is Presney, who's picked up and dumped into the ground like a bag of wheat. He gets up and plays the ball back, and it's come away for Cameron Blair. Blair again keen to take it up. I'd like to know what his hit-ups are, Cameron Blair, for Western Suburbs. He's done it plenty of times. Henjack back for Liddon, and Liddon is tackled without reaching the halfway. There's a Magpie player down injured. It's Jamie Ainscough. He's got an ankle gone. As Taylor kicks now into open space, a better directed kick, giving Hancock something to think about. He's back and he's in goal. Here's the chasers now, led by Trevor Cogger and by Jason Taylor, and he plays the ball now. Hancock, only 10 metres out from the Manly line, and ahead goes the big second rower, White, making valuable metres. He'll play at 15 metres out from his own line. The clock is about to stop on the 5-minute marker. Manly leading by 6, 18-12, as Shelford brushes off Henjack. He's held then by a couple of the forwards, and Shelford will play it back on his own 22-way line. Dummy half O'Donnell, who's had a busy game. Blindside for O'Connor, beautiful step and swerve. He's taken play out to the 32. He's had a picnic today, O'Connor. Every time he's wanted to do the fancy stuff, he's been able to do it. He's really stamped this game with his professionalism. And I guess Manly are saying, thank God O'Connor missed the Australian side. Back it comes for Jones to kick. It's very high, going straight down the throat of Doherty. He's on his own 32. He comes to that line, but funnily enough, there was vacant space both left and right. Two Manly players up the guts, and he ran straight at them. Now, here's Simons, who's tackled 10 metres short of the halfway. Taylor goes to dummy half, tries to do it himself, but he's run back into the markers. Taylor to play it. We're inside the last 5. It's now with Jason Liddon. Liddon gets a pass away. They're playing catch-up football, so of course they have to squeeze the pass. It's gone from Taylor. On it goes out to Bukowski. Back to Simons. Lyons wrestles the ball from his grasp.
Well, that should have been a knock-on from Lyons. He pulled the ball down and he's let it play on.
No question that Lyons freed the ball from the grasp of the Magpie player. But referee Weeks says play on as it comes now to Shelford. Shelford's on the 32-metre line. Western Suburbs end of the ground. It looks as though Manly are home safely, leading 18 points to 12. Even at the very worst, it would be a draw if the Magpies were able to score and convert, but they wouldn't have time, I wouldn't think, to take it from this end of the ground to the other and then do it all again. Stokes will play the ball on the hillside of the ground, 25 metres out. It's across to Lyons. Lyons now to Dunford. Dunford is held on the quarterway line. He loses the ball. Coming up with it is Alavanja, and he'll play the ball back now for Presdy. The winger came in and pushed the hooker out of the road and said, let me get in there, a little fast man. And he takes a scurry away from dummy half. Out it comes from Henjack. It's gone to Taylor. Taylor to Cogger. He's got the numbers on his outside. It's gone from Rawlings back to Cogger, and Cogger is tackled 15 metres on his side of the halfway. Ball to be played by Trevor Cogger. Rawlings gives an awful pass away to Taylor. Taylor on now to Cameron Blair. Does a 360. Does it again. He plays the ball back, and it's gone away from Flanagan. It's with Henjack. Grubber kick by Henjack, and Dunford it is to fall on the ball. Luckily for Manly, because Henjack could possibly have woven his magic right there and then. This is Jones who's tackled now on the halfway mark. The order has gone out to play it slowly. Just keep it safe. First receiver stuff. Take the tackle. Go to ground probably. Oh, Shelford. Well, he's a front rower. I suppose you've got to forgive him, but there's no need for Manly to be squeezing passes. Absolutely no need. The ball was knocked backwards anyway, and now the referee obligingly gives a penalty to Manly right in front of the uprights, 32 metres out from the Western Suburbs line, to give Mike O'Connor a chance to totally wrap it up for Manly, this match against the Magpies today. O'Connor will take all the time in the world taking this kick. He's had a really good game today, Michael O'Connor. He had, I thought, a valley in his performance this year, and I wasn't so sure in my own mind that he should have even been in the State of Origin team. And a lot of people agreed with that, but he's picked up his form since the interstate clashes, and today he's been absolutely brilliant. Some of the things he's done, worth the price of admission alone just to see. Here he is now, 31 out, right in front. Has he got it? No, he hasn't. Doherty comes back into the field of play for the Magpies, tackled on the 10-metre line. We're inside the last 5. In fact, we're coming down to about 2 minutes of time remaining, one would think, as Ainscough is tackled. Still no gain in ground. Manly's forwards have really worked hard today. I can't recall too many openings up the middle that Magpies have been able to find. This is Doherty, just outside the 22. No markers, plays it ahead, and he reaches the 32-metre line and beyond before being tackled. He plays it back. It comes away to Henjack. On it goes now for Taylor. Cut-out pass out the back for Bukowski to give on now to the number 12, Cameron Blair. And Blair will play the ball pretty close to halfway. 5 tackles gone.
Well, there's an opportunity out in the right here, but they've got their winger away, but I think Manly will cover it. Stokes has been playing left wing all the second half, and Cliffy Lyons has got back there and covered the chip kick up. They put a kick ahead, and he's covered it up beautifully. He's now injured, or is he?
A kick across the top by Western Suburbs, fielded by the sweeper on that occasion, Lyons. and he was, well, we're asking the question, was he injured in the tackle? Mad Barry's points in the match, as allocated by Warren and Peter. They've given 1 to Gary Bukowski, 2 to Michael O'Connor, and 3 to John Jones. The second rower, they've given Jones, the Mad Barry's man of the match points, 2 to O'Connor, 1 to Bukowski. Back it goes now for Lions, using the blind side to O'Connor, a one-hander to Stokes. Stokes down the sideline, comes to the fullback, turns it inside.
Well, there'll be a penalty here.
Penalty to Manly.
Could even be a sin bin, but I think it's only going to be the penalty. I think he realises the game's been won by Manly, but he was pulled back, the Manly player then, and could well have been a sin bin offence, that one.
So watching the replay, O'Connor got the ball across the top for Stokes, who went down the line. O'Connor was held back out of the play. He wasn't allowed by West to take any further part. Adrian Shelford comes from the field of play. He's been a major contributor. Number 24 goes on for the Manly side. Let's check it with the eye, Tony Megahey.
Yeah, certainly. Shelford coming off and Dury coming on, but there's full time, mate.
No need for Tony Megahey to check the identity of that player. Dury it was for the record books. He'll get a wage, I suppose. That's all he cares.
He'll get a quarter of a game.
18 points to 12. 18-12 in favour of Manly. And with Newcastle's last night loss to Brisbane, it really consolidates Manly's position in the top 5. Not totally consolidated, but certainly it takes away all those perhapses and ifs and why-fors that we put to you before the game kicked off, should Western Suburbs win.
Well, they've at least secured a playoff for 5th spot, Manly, because 28 points at least secures that for you. And that puts Parramatta out of contention now, because Parramatta's best if they win against Balmain and then win against Manly the following week, they would go to 27. So Manly on 28 are out of reach. Balmain on 28 are out of reach. So there is a 5 established already. Newcastle can get back into the 5. Were Manly to lose or Balmain to lose, it's 2 matches, or Manly to lose next week and Newcastle to win against Balmain next week. Newcastle could move up onto 28 points as well. So theoretically there could be playoffs for 5, for 5th spot. Manly at least have secured that position though by winning today.
So the Mad Barry's man of the match was John Jones. He's with the sideline eye, Tony Megahey. John, congratulations. You've been judged by Warren Ryan and Peter Sterling as Manly's #1 contributor, but there were plenty of them. I'm sure you'd agree.
Mate, it was a wholehearted effort. We knew we were going to be doing it pretty tough with all the stars out, mate, but full credit to the blokes that took the field. I mean, it was a good effort by everyone, mate, and they couldn't single anyone out.
What was the pre-match chat, John? What was Graham saying to you in that build-up, that vital last couple of hours?
Well, mate, he emphasised that we've got 2 games to go. We're opportunities in front of us. I mean, it's a great opportunity, especially for a lot of blokes having their first year. So, mate, that opportunity's worth gold, and we don't want to look back at it and say, if only, if only. So, mate, it was all go for it.
John, forgive me if it's a stupid question. Have you been to the football stadium to play in a first-grade situation before?
Oh, mate, I had a half a game against South this year, but that's about it, mate.
I meant in the final series.
No, not yet, mate.
Well, John, congratulations. Warren Ryan and Peter Sterling chose you as our Mad Barry's man of the match. Congratulations to you and the team.
Thanks very much, mate. Peter, just watch out next week, mate.
OK, there he is. He got a message across there to you, Sterlo. Of course, Manly playing Parramatta in Friday night football next Friday night at the Parramatta Stadium. 18 points to 12. The statistics read this way. For Manly, tries by Smith, O'Connor and Stokes. O'Connor landed 3 goals.
4 from 7.
4 from 7. 4 from 7. Have we got one not down here? I'm sorry, Matthew. My apologies. The tries for Manly by Smith, O'Connor and Stokes. O'Connor kicked 4 goals from 7 attempts, so he's had a personal contribution of 12 points in the match. Western Suburbs tries by Henjack and Simmons. Doherty kicked 2 goals. The scrums finished at 16-5 to Western Suburbs, but only one of them...